Steve Perry.
I have a couple things for you just to see. I'm going to reference the section and if you don't want to collect back from me. As you know, I'm not always the most eloquent speaker, and I'm never comfortable at this, but this is my 10th time speaking in front of this council and or the Tourism Development Council, so it's sort of like an anniversary. And I think, except for Mr. Mixon, I've spoken to each of you at least 8 times, and Mr. Mixon, I think, 9 times. So with that said, again, I'm here to speak about the SS United States and some of the issues related thereto. The reason I passed out that one thing, that's I brought it up last October. That's one of the SL7s, and actually your subcontractor from Martin Ottaway is promoting this as a intermodal museum type ship. This is what I referenced as a safer diver destination, a safer and easier remediation source for you to sink as an artificial reef. These are becoming available. 2 of them are being decommissioned and getting ready to be sold for scrap here in the next quarter. With that said, you can go online and you can see what his idea is to keep it afloat and make it something different. I'm suggesting the possibility that it'd be safer, and it's much safer for divers and for your stuff as an artificial reef as well. With that said, I'm going to go into just a brief little bit about me and everything like that as well, even though I think you know that about me already. I'm a Merchant Marine Academy grad. I'm actually, upon this leaving, I'm going up to my house in Philadelphia because I'm attending my 40th college reunion this weekend. And next week, I will be in Washington, D.C., talking to congressional people in maritime administration about this subject matter as well. So, and then I go out to Los Angeles to meet with Long Beach and the Queen Mary and people out there. So I'm going to have a very busy schedule, and I won't see you again until November 17th. But with that said, one of the things I want to indicate to you, there's a false narrative about the cost to save and repurpose the ship. I remember Commissioner Boreals mentioned this back in the thing, it was $1 billion, and that's not at all accurate. It's probably about $300 or $400 million. And Mr. Helmsen has mentioned in his thing that sometimes the low-cost alternative is not always the best alternative when it comes to issues. With that said, I wanted to read part of one of my reserve duty things that talks a little bit about me and what I accomplished on one of my reserve duties at Ingalls. Mr. Perry fully demonstrated his outstanding abilities as an extremely productive member of the Naval Surface Reserve Force, and everything. He provided sound technical expertise and engineering expertise, independently investigating reported problems. And surprisingly, he summarized it by saying, Mr. Perry is a superior officer who's aggressively applied his knowledge and experience in support of this thing. He has excellent skills in marine engineering, is highly recommended for retention in the Naval Reserve and immediate promotion. I can absolutely state that he has been the most aggressive, technically competent, and eager to learn of almost 100 reserve officers that he's had the pleasure to work with while commanding SUP ship. This was back in 1993.
Yes,
with that said, I have more other things I'd like to talk about, but I know my 3 minutes are up.
Yes,
but I'd be happy to talk to you afterwards. Thank you.
Johnathan Radzewicz.
Good morning. My name is Johnathan Radzewicz. I am president of the SS United States Preservation Foundation. I hold a master's license issued by the United States Coast Guard. In order to achieve this license, I had to demonstrate proficiency in chart reading and navigation. While looking at publicly available permits issued by the Army Corps of Engineers and plotting out all of the positions on a chart, I noticed something extremely concerning. All 3 of the large sites described in the permits fall under an area classified as a missile test firing range. Described in the United States Department of Commerce publication, U.S. Coast Pilot, Book 5, September 28, 2025 edition, beginning on page 204. This range covers an area of approximately 120,000 square miles of water and has been in continuous use since 1946. This means a hazard for unexploded ordnance, both buried and above the buried beneath and above the ocean floor, is extremely prevalent. This means you could potentially be sinking the SS United States on a literal ticking time bomb. And I say that because explosives used in this range are high explosive munitions, missiles, and rounds of various calibers, all powered by a high explosive charge. Now, according to Eglin Air Force Base, Range Environmental Assets Regarding Unexploded Ordnance, or UXO, UXO items that sink to the seafloor would not be retrieved, detonated, in place, but would remain in the marine environment. Submerged unexploded ordnance would potentially pose a safety hazard because the potential for contact with members of the public once in the marine environment. UXOs may be subject to a number of processes, including transport, burial, exhumation, encasement, and corrosion/degradation. UXOs may be subject to concretion, whereby the munition becomes encased in minerals, metals, or biologic accretion. Concretion now may stabilize the munition to some degree, possibly resulting in decreased likelihood of detonation from physical disturbance, although it may also preserve the detonation mechanism for some time. This assessment was made following a series of tests conducted in 2015 directly between Lars A and Lars C site. I have that on a map showing where these tests occurred. In conclusion, the possibility of unexploded ordnance within the Lars sites creates a potential hazard for both ships and people who intend to dive it. In the words of Eglin Air Force Base regarding UXOs, water depth at the site is relatively deep for recreational divers, but is within the range occasionally used. Public interaction with UXOs by any scenario described above, scuba divers, commercial fishing, or dredging operations, would be considered a human safety hazard. Several incidents have occurred as a result of public encountering unexploded ordnance and current and historic military training sites other than Eglin. In some cases, UXOs were identifiable and the proper authorities were contacted. However, in other cases involving UXOs being removed or handled by members of the public that did not understand potential dangers, in some of these instances, injuries and deaths occurred when UXOs were mishandled. Now, I pose the question to this board. Eglin Air Force Base knows the danger, and they acknowledge it. Will this board acknowledge the danger of unexploded ordnance around their reef sites? Thank you.
Thank you. I don't have a question for you, but I will thank you for bringing that up because it does echo, again, kind of, yes, sir.
These are charts, maps, and some of the, I would print it out the whole document, but I don't think you guys want 800
It does.
resources.
Thanks. It does echo the value of the partnership that we have with Eglin.
Yes.
And the opportunities that we've had to be able to discuss location, which they've been a very integral part of. As far as the UXO goes, thanks for making that known as well, because I think it's good for the public to hear, because it's the area we live in.
Yes.
Last year, within the last 2 years, I believe there were 8 UXOs taken out of our bay in about 12 inches of water, I think was the most shallow. So it's definitely something we deal with, but we still go and boat and swim and snorkel in the bay as well. The partnership we have with Eglin is tremendous. Would you pass that down? Because they'll be able to notify us when the area can be open and when the area will be closed. And so it really does help knowing that we're in such a military-heavy community and to see how that interworking takes place already. So thank you for that. That's all we had for public comment. If anyone else from the public desires to speak, please complete a speaker card with Mr. Tomilchek in the back, and you'll be recognized at the end of the meeting.